Hey there, folks. It's the E-Man here. Today I wanted to kind of look at a game. I've been kind of, I guess it's a review of sorts. The game was on the GameCube and the PS2. It's Robotech Battlecry. Now, many of you may not know what the Robotech series is. It was an anime series, one of the more earlier ones. Um, there was a man here that brought it over here, and they called it Robotech. But of course, in Japan, it's called the Macross Saga, which it would make more sense to call it the Macross Saga. Yeah, essentially alien invasions, transforming jets, which at that time the Transformers were out. It was back in the 80s. I remember first seeing this on Cartoon Network. You know, a lot of anime stuff's on Cartoon Network, on Toonami and whatnot. I haven't seen any other reviewers talking about this game, so I thought, well, I find a really great, a game that not many people have looked at before. As you've noticed in the new room here, we now have, a Who poster, my Big Bang Theory poster, and, it looks more lived in this area now. Of course, my Doctor Who shirt, knock knock, who's there? Doctor, Doctor Who hat. And kind of a geek for Doctor Who. So I got my Doctor Who poster with a couple of the doctors up there. And I got like a Civil War poster back there too. I kind of like that stuff. Now, I guess the biggest thing I should say that Robotech reminds me of is like Top Gun, because it's the same kind of thing, like pilots that fight aliens and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people may think it wasn't done particularly very well, but just kind of like it, I guess. Yeah, so of course now I have pre-recorded footage that I'm going to show here. Well, I guess let's get this looking at here. In this particular game, you will play as Jack Archer, and you go through the storyline of it. Yeah, the opening clip is rather long, I thought, for the whole thing, but anyway, I guess let's try to get this going here.
My name is Jack Archer, and I'm a pilot of the Robotech Defense Force. I was born just before the global war. My parents died soon after the war began, so I had to learn how to survive on my own. Sometimes I wonder what kind of person I might have been if things were different. It's one of my darkest fears. If you took the war out of me, would there be anything left? The global war had been going on for a long time. All the experienced pilots were dead. My government was desperate, and the draftees started getting younger and younger. I needed a way to escape all that misery on the ground, so I didn't mind much when I got drafted. Flight training came easy to me. It was like I was meant to be a pilot. They said I had a rare talent, but somehow I didn't see it that way. After a few years, the government dissolved. I became a mercenary, hiring out to any nation that could afford me. I didn't care, just so long as I stayed up in the clouds where I could forget about all the troubles down on Earth. The war ended in a single day. All it took was a miracle. A gigantic alien spaceship broke through hyperspace on a collision course with the Earth and crashed into a small island in the South Pacific called Macross Island. The leaders of the world's nations called a ceasefire and assembled the most brilliant minds of the time to examine the spaceship and assess the possible threat of alien invasion. The evidence they found pointed to a highly advanced civilization with technology far beyond what we had on Earth, something the scientists called robotechnology. But there was an even greater discovery. The scientists found a supply of protoculture aboard the ship. A new and nearly inexhaustible energy source used to power the alien machines. The spaceship was some kind of advanced warship, bristling with powerful weaponry. They called it the Super Dimension Fortress, or the SDF-1 for short. They began rebuilding the ship as they unlocked the secrets of robotechnology. After the arrival of the SDF-1, work kind of dried up for a while. With the war over, no one wanted to hire mercenaries. The world was at peace for the first time I can remember, and I was starting to get used to the idea. Those were happy times. I had been living in Macross City, helping to rebuild the SDF-1. I was just getting used to my new life when Roy Fokker, the legendary Skull leader himself, recognized me as I was getting off work. We had met a few times during the war. Sometimes I was on his side, and sometimes I flew against him. Over the years, we ended up forming a friendship. He told me he needed pilots to join a new military outfit called the Robotech Defense Force. Roy said they had some new kind of high-performance fighter that could beat anything I ever flew. They called it a Veritech. I made Roy prove it to me, fighter to fighter. Why did the military need a transforming fighter? It was well known that the aliens were warriors, but there was one detail that was kept from the public. In a top-secret debriefing, we were informed that evidence from the crash indicated the aliens were 40-foot-tall giants. The RDF developed the Veritech fighter to fight the aliens on their own terms. It would mean the difference between survival and extinction. After my training, I was stationed with the carrier Prometheus on Macross Island. On the day the final construction of the SDF-1 was completed, the entire city prepared to celebrate. That was when the Zentradi arrived.
All right there, folks. That was a little bit of the storyline. It does go on kind of longer than I thought it would. Sorry, that was my cat toy. I wanted to show, because I have the DVD collection of all of the Robotech sagas. Yeah, I mean, this game is more follows the storyline of, I guess you could say, the Macross saga is like the first one. Then we have the Robotech Masters, the Masters saga. And then we have, well, this also has the Robotech movies that were done. And there's archives and stuff. Yeah, the third generation. And special features and whatnot. You can see on the inside here, it's kind of a confusing jumble of DVDs and whatnot. A&E 20-disc collection. Yeah, I kind of I forget how much I got this for. But of course nowadays I don't know if you can stream Robotech or you can get it on Hulu or something maybe. I forget if you can, or on Amazon Prime Video or whatever. I guess now let's show some gameplay footage. Okay, here we go. Yes, just a little bit here. We're going to go into gameplay. Let's go here.
The SDF-1 belonged to them, and they were determined to take it back.
We are under attack by alien invaders in Sector 412. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. All forces proceed in battle formation.
Well, boys, you heard her. This is the real thing. Destroy all targets. We've got to cut them off before they reach Macross City. I'm on my way, Roy. Wolf Squadron, move to intercept invaders at Zone 428. Traffic's pretty heavy out here, so break formation.
Okay, as you can see, this is very similar to many other games where you're flying a jet and flying around. And the graphics are relatively good for this, and the fighters do have kind of an interesting kind of anime kind of look to them. Not only that, I've noticed that the voices sound very authentic to the show. I mean, you might forget that you might think you're playing the show. Of course, it's done by TDK Interactive. Yeah, it's just one of those games you feel is low budget, but I guess this is probably might be, well, for my opinion anyway, I think the controls are quite responsive and just great. Of course, I'm playing this. This originally was the GameCube version, and I'm playing this on the Dolphin emulator. The Dolphin emulator works similar, okay. It's cool because the minute all the controls are just, kind of instantly done to the Xbox One controller I use here, well, wireless one. Yeah, I can have a little doohickey on my computer here to be able to play this. Well, Microsoft Windows, controller works with it. Yeah, I can capture, game data and stuff, and use certain settings with this. This controller is pretty good at using a lot of these emulators. It instantly maps to it. I don't even have to worry about it. The one issue with this emulator is sometimes there are sound issues. Like sometimes it seems like the sound is playing when it's not supposed to. And I've tried other videos of this and I've had the sound problem. It's like when I'm playing this game, I have to start it right up and instantly go into the main game. Otherwise, it starts, the music is playing off and it's... But I mean, for the most part, a lot of these games I emulate on the Dolphin emulator are just great. I've been able to recently find a lot of nice ISOs and stuff, and they're downloading a lot faster than they used to. I guess maybe our internet must have been working weird or something. Anyway, okay, let's get back to the gameplay here. Basically, as you can see, I pretty much the voice acting, the music, the basic graphics look pretty good for this period of time. I think the PS2 game didn't look as good as this did. And of course, I'm playing this on an emulator, so it's probably going to look a lot better than it would on playing this on. The best way to play GameCube games, I think, is with a Wii, and you get component cables and do progressive scan, because a lot of games use progressive scan on the GameCube, and that's probably the best way to get the best picture. And probably the best way to play GameCube games, I believe, is on the Wii, because the Wii usually you can play GameCube games on it, plug all the GameCube controllers into it, and all the memory cards into it. So, yeah, and if you can get component cables and put in progressive scan, that's the best way to play it. All right, here we go. Back to the game here.
who are refueled and rearmed proceed to Macross City to defend assigned sectors. SDF-1 control to Wolf 10, an alien assault force is approaching from the west. Head into Zone 209 and secure the area. Check your heads-up displays and follow the arrow.
I'm on my way.
Remember, Macross City wasn't made to accommodate anything the size of a battlecry, so you're going to run out of room pretty fast. You new pilots should stick to battleoid mode until you develop your skills.
Alright there, folks. As you can see, you can turn into part jet, part robot, and then you can turn into the major form here. As a fan of the series, this does really remind me of it, and it pays really good homage to the Robotech series, I think. Yeah, there are many games that have been made, I think, to express different aspects of Robotech, but I mean, for me, I think this is the a pretty good one. You know, if you're a fan of the series, like I am, then you're probably pretty much gonna want to play this game. In my opinion, is the graphics, you know, they don't look too bad for the kind of era that this was. Maybe a little bit of the camera stuff is a little iffy, but I don't think that takes away from the of the game. And I guess you could say this is somewhat a licensed game, I guess you could say, but it's pretty cool. Another thing to touch note on is that the man that brought Robotech to the States, you know, he passed away a couple of years ago. Yeah, there was, you know, a Robotech movie that was made, not a live-action movie, but an animated movie. I've kept seeing things online about a Robotech live-action movie, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't know. Yeah, I know that many of you may or may not know about the Dune series, a famous sci-fi book series. Yeah, they're making a movie of that again. You know, some of you may have watched the David Lynch Dune movie, or maybe not. But a lot of people say it's not very good. I've heard the book on tape of the first Dune series, the first Dune book. Of course, this movie is going to be like, it's going to be 2 movies to represent the first book, which I think is good. I didn't mean to get off topic about Dune and whatever, but I guess we're talking about sci-fi, so Dune is another great sci-fi series that I like. So, I guess my rating for this game would probably be a 9. I didn't want to give it a full 10 because I think there is some camera, there's kind of some, you know, interesting camera issues. I like how there's, you know, lock on and whatever. So I'm going to give it a 9 because I think some people might think that the camera's a little bit off. I didn't really notice it a whole bunch, maybe. I mean, I guess the thing of it is I'm in a city and you're a big robot and it's kind of hard to maneuver around. But yeah, but I think the camera is a little bit wonky, and I feel like maybe your field of vision isn't as good as it could be, but it's just kind of cool to be flying around in a jet shooting stuff, and then you could run around on the ground as a robot and shoot things and snipe things off. Yeah, of course, in this mode that I'm in right now, you can only fire the gun. You can't fire missiles. I can fire missiles when I'm in the other form, but then it's hard to move around. And it's like one of those these old school games where it's a little bit of a tough game. Like especially this scene here, I didn't want to bore you guys by showing me getting blown up 2 times, but I pretty much get killed on this level like twice. It's kind of, I guess this is a little bit of a old school kind of challenge here. What was the date on this? It must be in the 2000s or something, because the GameCube was out then. Yeah, and I will definitely tell you guys that I definitely have very interesting plans for perhaps a Halloween kind of special edition of the E-Man show. I don't know if I said that in the beginning here. I don't really want to give away what game it is, but it's a particularly interesting game for Halloween. I definitely really want to do something big for Halloween. I wanted to do it last year, but then just didn't have the time to do it. But I would definitely do it this year. So I hope you guys are safe out there and you're washing hands, wearing masks. I mean, I just don't know. People in stores are buying tons of paper towels now. It's like toilet paper, then paper towels, bleach wipes. I just hope that we can hope we're going to get through this. I don't know what ultimately it will be. I mean, not only do we have this COVID stuff we're dealing with, now we also got the election coming. And I'm not going to be political, but, I definitely do not want another 4 years of the bozo that we have right now. I can tell you that right now. I mean, it's not even a joke how much I'm not. Yeah. We got the election, we got the 100-year anniversary of women's right to vote. We got, interesting civil rights people that fought for the right to vote for African Americans. They passed away, and then all of a sudden Trump is trying to didn't want to say his name, but our current president, have a very interesting way he seems to view things, I guess, and I just, whatever. I hope you guys stay safe out there, and I know this, gaming is somewhat an antisocial activity, I guess you could say, so I guess I'm kind of social distancing, I guess, because I'm here playing, usually sit by myself playing games. It's like, but I remember because, back in the day when I was younger, a lot of games you did not have online connectivity. You couldn't talk to friends and stuff as you're playing them. This game is like one of the old school games where you don't have online, you don't do anything. I don't think this has online. No, I don't think it does. The GameCube did have a modem, but, I'll probably talk about the GameCube later on, about what my thoughts and feelings are. But anyway, yes, as I said before, stay safe out there. And keep gaming. Gaming seems to be an activity that you don't really have to worry about social distancing for the most part. Especially now, you can put on Call of Duty and play with people all over the place and not have to really go anywhere or anything. Especially you can buy games online now. You don't even really have to go to the store. And as I have heard that GameStop is, of course, dying a slow and agonizing death. They're going to close another 450 stores. I mean, to see that GameStop has 5,000 some stores, I'm like, why, I feel bad for the people, I know people will be out of work and stuff, but, GameStop should have been closing a lot of these stores. Not trying to, they should have, helped their employees get other jobs and start closing some of these stores. But I mean, of course, in some cities, especially, my area here, we have like 3 GameStops that are not too far apart, and it doesn't really make any sense why there's all these GameStops. I remember living, back when I lived in Maine, we had, Bangor, and there was like 2 of them, and there's like one in the mall, the one in another mall, and they're not too far apart from each other. And there's so many GameStops that obviously they're not going to all be doing well. I mean, I hope that maybe a bunch of stores close and maybe GameStop might hang on, but I think GameStop is pretty much toast. I mean, I feel bad for the people working there, but I think the people working there need to get the hell out off of that sinking ship. I'm sure you guys can get jobs working at registers at other places. Okay, I guess this is going to be the E-Man signing off. I hope to see you guys in the next E-Man show. Remember to like and subscribe and give me some comments. I don't know, maybe my settings on YouTube is messed up, or maybe. I mean, it even could be that YouTube is setting me up to ignore me or whatever, but yeah. I hope anyone I know, like, personally could send me a message on Facebook or something and kind of say if, you're able to see my videos or not, because YouTube is, I don't know what YouTube is doing. Well, I'll see you guys later. Bye.